Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be making chili verde or green chili. I have some chicken thighs. I have 3 large ones for my family, but you can always add a couple more. I'm going to do a little bit of chicken broth and a little bit of water with that. Some salt, some rice that I'm going to cook up in my rice cooker separately from the chili. Some cannellini beans, I believe it's called, that I'll add towards the end. Uh, Poblano pepper, I'm using 1, but you could use 2 or 3 if you really like spice, and depending on how hot the pepper is. You could also use jalapeno. I have a couple of limes, red onion, but you could use any type of onion. I'm going to dice that. Some ground cumin, some cilantro leaves. They're dried. You could use fresh at the end of your recipe if you prefer. Some tortilla chips to serve along with it, and some garlic. I'm probably going to use a lot of garlic, probably 6 or 7 cloves, but we really like garlic here. I am going to prep everything up, and I'll be back. One other thing to note is that I forgot to mention the tomatillas, which have the papery outside. If you're not familiar with them, what you need to do is remove the papery outside, and they're a little bit sticky, at least the ones that I've usually had, and then rinse them very well, and then cube them or chop them up into smaller pieces. And for the pepper, you're going to want to make sure that you also dice it up and remove the seeds. Unless you want a lot of spice, I guess you could add a little bit of seeds, but the more seeds, usually the spicier the end product will be. Okay, I will be back in a bit. Okay, all my ingredients are prepped, sliced, squeezed, chopped, beans drained, and I'm going to start with drizzling my pan with a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to add in my onion. I'm going to reserve a little bit of the onion to top the chili with. Oop, I missed a big piece. I'm not exactly an exact chopper. Make sure I have it on. I'm going to saute this for a few minutes until it starts to brown, and I'll be back to show you what that looks like. Okay, well, I forgot to add my poblano in with my onions, so I had done that and let it saute for a bit. I'm going to add in, my garlic. I did end up eating, I think that's about 6 cloves. And here's my chopped up tomatillos. I'm gonna mix that around. And let that cook down and some of the juices come out of there. I'm also going to add my cumin at this time so that it can toast up a bit with the heat of the pan. And I'm also going to add in my tablespoon or so of dried cilantro. The cumin, I think that's about 2 to 3 tablespoons if you're measuring. And I'm going to add a little bit of water at this time. And I'm going to find the lid, put it on, and let it simmer for a little bit so the tomatillos get cooked up and kind of like a cooked down tomato. I'll be back soon. Okay, a few minutes later, and we're gonna check on the tomatillas, and they look like they've started to cook. At this point, I'm going to add in the chicken thighs. Ooh, that has a lot of fat, but in my family, we always say fat is flavor. And I'm gonna add in, it's about 2 tablespoons of lime juice that I squeezed from one of the limes. The other lime I'm reserving to squeeze on at the end. And then I have about a tablespoon or so of salt. And I'm gonna add 1 more cup of water. If you had chicken broth and want to use it, or veggie broth, you could use that as well. I'm going to put the lid on it and let it cook 35, maybe 40 minutes so the flavors can come together, the chicken can cook. See you soon. If you're adding rice to yours, I am cooking mine separately in a rice cooker, but this would be about the time that I would get the rice started if you're trying to coordinate things. Okay, see you a little bit. Okay, the chicken should be cooked. I'm going to take out my chicken thighs and shred them up, and in the meantime I'm going to add my drained can of beans. Then I'm going to add the shredded chicken back into the pot and serve it up with all my toppings. See you soon. All right, my beans have heated up, and returned my shredded chicken to the pot. I'm going to turn off the heat and get ready to serve. I have a little bit of rice in my bowl, and get a spoonful or 2 of the chili. And that's what it looks like, nice and steamy. Smells, you can smell the cumin. Smells really good. I'm just gonna top with a little bit of onion and a squeeze of lime and a couple chips. I'm gonna go enjoy my soup. I hope you give it a try too. Have a nice day.